Yo, what is going on guys and welcome back to the channel, it's DJ Crime here, and today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of how I made my festival mix of Coolio Gangsta's Paradise. The festival mix got released 2 months ago. I'm kind of late to making the video, and the support on it has been amazing. It's like over 1,000 plays on SoundCloud, so I really appreciate that. We got roughly around the same amount of plays as the first festival mix I did in that amount of time, so I really appreciate your support. With that support as well, I'm going to be giving away the FLP. It will be on Talent Stage Nation's YouTube channel on the same day as this video comes out, which will be the 8th. So make sure you go over to the channel and support it, and also go and download the FLP if you want to learn how to make certain things and also take some of the sounds and stuff. Just remember not to re-upload this track. So let's just jump straight into it. So as you can see here, we do have the break section as well. I think I'm going to start with the break, and you can see there's not that much going on. Uh, Usually when it comes to festival mix, you don't want that much happening in the break section because you want to keep the original. A lot of people would normally change keys or they would use different sounds. I tend not to do that because if someone wants to play this, I want to keep the original sound in there. They can change the key if they're mixing it. But for listening and stuff, I do like to keep the original key and sound so that it's really familiar to people. So what I started off with was I went on YouTube, and you can do this as well. It's completely allowed. You can look up remakes of the track, and you can basically get an idea of where everything needs to be, because it is kind of hard starting from scratch when you don't know where the vocal needs to go or like how the positioning has to be. So I found a really good remake, and I basically started by changing the sounds for the respace, which was a stock FL plugin, and I added my own one in, which is a Aspire preset. It's a respace. It's very gritty, and I do like it. And what I started doing as well, I started adding some other strings. Now there is copyright in this, so I had to use the same kind of strings, but I also had to change them up a little bit. So I used two Nexus presets, one from the classical section called Big Strings, Big Drama Strings, and the next one is a dance organ from classical as well. So really good sound selection here for the strings. It really, make the track sound as a whole. So that's what it sound like. The original BPM of the track was 160. So I've had to, you know, down BPM the track for big room. So that's what it sounds like. So yeah, pretty good sounds there, and it also sounds like the original as well, which I like. And then here's just some drums. I had to replace a few because like the kick wasn't really hitting for me, and some other stuff as well. But this is like the drum kind of selection. It's pretty self-explanatory. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take. The acapella is not really a good acapella. It was one that was in the project, but it's not that great. So I had to really just do some, just some simple EQing and some processing just to um, get rid of some of that like annoying background noise that's in the original acapella. So yeah, there's also a choir section that comes in. That's in the background as well. But there is also this. I don't know if this is playing or not. But the vocal, as again, the acapella has some of that background noise, so it kind of helped just to keep that um there as like a layer for this as well. So I just kind of left it there, and then I just added some impacts and some claps as well. Just build some more energy towards the climax section. And yeah, just some like atmosphere stuff. There's not that much going on in the break. It's mainly just adding some downlifters, some risers, and some other stuff as well. But when we get to the climax, there's a lot more that goes on. So for the climax melody, it was really a challenge to make something that sounds like the vocal. I don't really like doing just a random climax melody. I don't really like doing that. I want to keep everything kind of glued together as a whole when it comes to the climax and the break. For the drops, I can kind of move away from it and make something that's powerful, but um, for the climax, I just came up with this melody which follows the vocal. Which is you can kind of hear it's like following like what the guy's saying throughout, and it's very like catchy as well. When I wrote it, it took about an hour to write this because I had to kind of find out what notes would work best and how I can make it sound catchy and also make it where it's not all over the place. And this was the best one I could do. So the melody is layered with just Silent Fun presets, I think. So yeah, it's just Silent Fun presets for each one. I don't think I used Spire. Yeah, did I use the Jackson Vega lead here? And then I used some chords there as well. There's no reverb carry on this. Just wanted a lot of reverb on the least to make it bigger. The processing is really simple. It's the same kind of processing I use on a lot of my break leads. It's just an EQ, Camel Crusher, Noveltech character, reverb, time lapse or timeless for the delay, OTT, Kickstart, and fruity low pass filter for the filtering, and an EQ just to, clean the leads up a little bit more. And then for the chords as well, they're just processed the same. Um, yeah, they're just processed the same, and then EQ on each plugin. Chords sound like this. Added some ARPs as well in the background just to fill up the mix a little bit more. Again, just some Camel Crusher, reverb, kickstart for the intro, and also for the kick section when that comes in, and then an EQ again, just doing some low cutting and a filter, and then an EQ on each ARP as well, just EQing how they are. And then everything else here is just some atmosphere effects, risers, crowd noise, and just a lot of impacts that I use to fill up my breaks and stuff. And then when climax comes in, the kick comes in also. And then it helps drive more energy towards the build up, which is a very important thing for me to make sure the build up hits and also the drop hits. The toms as well help with that. And then the build up hits, there's a lot of stabs that goes on, some build up snares, and just the irregular kind of stuff in the build up. Um, the drop leads, we'll go over them quickly. Again, those are mainly just Silent Form presets. I used a lot of Jackson Vega presets because their pack came out, and I wanted to use a few that I liked. So I just, did the same process as I did for the break leads, EQ'd them, separately, and then I just did the same processing Again, I used the Valve Vintage here for the reverb, so um, yeah, that's mainly the drop leads. It's the same process I use for my drop leads. I don't really like to go too technical with it. Um, but yeah, so the kick is made out of 5 layers. I'll go through each one individually. It's a punchy layer. It's a Vengeance kick. It's an EDM 2. It's like the second one. And then I use this layer. Helps give it more top end click and helps punch through the mix more. Just an EQ on this, and then I think I did an EQ and I did a boost around about here as well. And then there's this layer. And then this one. So each layer, they're just for this one I EQ'd it, EQ'd a lot some of the highs out, put some camel crush on it to make it like come out a little bit more. Sidechain and another EQ. And then for this one, this is a mid bass layer, so it's to give more like mids. So I just cut a lot of the highs out, and then cut to around 120 hertz. And just added a kickstart again. And then with this one, this is the sub layer. So what I did was I just EQ'd all the high end out, boosted around here, the 65 hertz, which is the key of C. So I boosted like the root note as well, and I decided to kickstart again for sidechain. So altogether the kick sounds like this. So for the rest of the drop, there is just a lot of stabs. So I used like the one that I used in a lot of my other tracks. It's the G-Max stab, which is number 6. G-Max stab, you can use it, mess around with it. There's this stab right here from the Giants Figure Pack, it's the Night Stab, and another one from an ANG pack. And they're just processed with Camel Crusher, an EQ, reverb, OTT, and a kickstart, and then again another EQ. So yeah, pretty simple stuff. Again, this is a festival mix, not an original track, so I don't really need to go too in detail with like the layering and stuff like that. But I do want to make sure the track and the drop is full enough that it doesn't get boring. So overall, the drop sounds like this. So yeah, that's basically how I made the festival mix for Coolio Gangsta's Paradise. You can check out the FLP from Talent Stage Nation. If the video is out by now, I will link it in the description. And you can also check out the track down below as well, and you can download it for free on my SoundCloud if you want to listen to it while you're out at the gym or wherever you are. Keep streaming the track. Let's try and get it to 2k plays on SoundCloud. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, if you did find this video really helpful, then be sure to go ahead and leave it a like. And subscribe if you are new if you want to see more content like this. But anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video. Peace and have a good day.